Alright guys, welcome to the first of... well no actually, because I'm going to be spacing it out. Or am I? I don't know. We shall see. Potentially the first of 3 videos that you're going to be seeing today. 2 reviews and then a bit of a head-to-head. To see out the new range of Tesco's beers week. It's about 3 weeks after these beers were launched in Tesco's. So I hope you've enjoyed this week so far. So for the last day I thought I'd do something a little bit different and 3 videos because nobody was even asking for 1 video, so I thought why not just deliver 3. And yeah, it looks like I've been injecting myself with heroin on my thumb. I just scraped the side of my thumb and it really fucking hurts. So yeah, that's visually pleasing, and I've noticed that the contrast doesn't seem to stay. There we go. Or the exposure, I should say. Hopefully there's no like big beams of white light, but no, me, because I have literally no skin pigment and I've got ridiculously beautiful blonde hair. A light reflects off me, so I look angelic, I suppose. Anyway, so I'm not going to lie, I've already tried to record my review of this beer, but I got rudely interrupted and I've got to press pause and I stopped the video. And luckily I picked up 2 cans because I knew that I'd really enjoy this beer, and I did. And I was just a little bit pissed off that I got interrupted and had to record it again. So hopefully that might condense it slightly, but saying that, it probably won't. It'll just be as long as my other reviews, but anyway. So basically, what you're going to be seeing today is a review of this, the New England IPA from Brewdog versus Cloudwater. Then the next review today, you'll be seeing me looking at the can of Hazy Jane. Now I already have reviewed the bottle, so I'm not expecting to get too many differences, but then again, as much as I enjoyed Hazy Jane in bottle form, I can't remember too much of the details about it, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to differentiate differences from, retrospectively when it comes to beer. And then what I'm going to do is, on the last video, I'm going to be putting them head to head because it just makes sense. It just makes sense to me. So, without any further ado, so they don't warm up too quickly, let's get this open. So this is the New England IPA from Brewdog versus Cloudwater. Part of their Versus series, which I've enjoyed so far, the ones that I've had. 6.8% ABV. So I'll read you the blurb on the back. So New England beats old in this hopped up superpower of a beer. Our returned juicy IPA, because it's a rebrew, packs more fruit than the state of Florida. As misty as New England in the fall, that sounds gorgeous. US hops unite in a big all American juicy fruit flavour. Tropical fruits, can't speak, on the nose, with notes of soft juicy peach, melon, lime and subtle caramelised pineapple on the palate. Wheater notes layer for a sugar, I said that last time, super smooth delivery, and the finish is dry and hoppy. New England IPA, juiced and ready to roll. And then you've got a little bit of a description about each brewery, but yeah, lovely looking can, 440ml. Let's get this open and see what we get. So yeah, Cloudwater in Tesco's, who'd have thunk it? But if you are still suffering from sour grapes of your favourite Manchester-based brewery selling out to the supermarkets, you can take comfort in knowing that it's actually a Brewdog beer, and it's just been brewed in collaboration with Brewdog. But you know what? I don't care. The fact that I can get beers like this and the beers that you've seen throughout the week, for better or for worse, that's how, because these are actually the I've only reviewed at this point the big milk stout, so I'll be reviewing others in between, but I want to get this done now while it's fresh in my memory. So yeah, I'm all for this. The guy involved in buying the beers, he knows what he's doing. He's clearly a fan of it. He's got good contacts. Breweries wouldn't want to be involved if they didn't know that they were getting something out of it, and that they didn't. I mean, yeah, you're sitting alongside the big boys and the Tesco's and the Asdas and the Morrisons. Yeah, they're trying to compete with the smaller retailers and, you know, like bottle shops and things like whatever sort of, whether it be like hot sauces or deli counters or, you know, snacks, artisanal soft drinks. It doesn't really matter. I think you can have the best of both worlds. You can go to the supermarkets now for affordability with quality for the most part, and then you can, when you've got a bit of money to spare, you could go to your local independent bottle shops and online retailers and buy directly from the breweries. So I like to think that I've got a good balance, because I know I'll probably end up buying more beers from the supermarkets, but I know even though I'm buying less from independent retailers, my money's actually making more difference to those independent retailers and breweries. And yeah, so I'm very excited. The first wave of beers were really good. It was always great to see that. I think Tesco's have been one of those supermarkets that have been on the forefront of this. I mean, we've got loads of Magic Rock in there, Shock Horror, you know, the Macro now. Who cares? They still brew good beers. They still focus on, you know, their local area. Very supportive of their local, you know, businesses and that sort of thing. And yeah, they, you know, Rich and whoever else is involved in, you know, the back, have just got a little bit of money in the back of their pockets, you know, to set them up for life. Isn't that what you want your business to do? You know, to either make you comfortable, or you can, you know, leave it down from generation to generation so they can make a living. But you know, when you get a big buyout like that, you'd be silly not to. But yeah, the likes of 4 Pure knocking them out the park. Tiny Rebel, we're seeing a lot more. Magic Rock, Northern Monk, we're seeing in more Morrisons. Brewdog, I think Brewdog are, you know, they're starting to get back on form for me. Who else? Like Mothership, brewery out of nowhere, all female, you know, brewing team and a female-led company. It's great to see them, you know, in the supermarkets in the spotlight. Like I said, 4 Pure knock it out of the park. Who else? Even London Beer Factory, even though 90% of the beers I've had have really missed the mark for me. It's great to see that. Beavertown, you name it. Do you know what? We won't get bogged down into that. We'll just focus on the beer. So in terms of the beer then, lovely looking peaches and apricot creaminess there. It's like you've got fruit compote and mix it with a little bit of the yoghurt. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing coming through that at all. Murky as hell, bordering on chicken stock, what we like to see. But yeah, lovely vibrancy, but cloudiness. Almost like it's, you know, chalky almost. No head whatsoever because it died down when I was going on that little tirade, but whatever. But beautiful looking beer. So on the nose. So good. Lovely blood orange grapefruit. A little bit of a lime zinginess. And of course you get the usual tropical aromas like melon, pineapple, mango. Lovely sweetness to it. There is a little bit of an oniony, garlicky sort of dankness there. Maybe caramelised with some brown sugar, but very slightly. It's not really like sweet and in your face. A little bit of resiny vibes going on there. There's even a subtle marijuana smell in there, which is always welcome. I love the smell of weed. There's just something nice about the smell of weed. Living in a small town called Skelmersdale, my walk home from work, I pretty much can smell it for like 90% of my walk home. I actually really like the smell of marijuana. But anyway, yeah, big pineapple. Nice with pineapple chunks in the pineapple juice in the tins. Dip your nose in because why not? It smells beautiful. It really, really does. It's gentle, it's rounded, it's inviting, it's not really in your face, it's not really potent, it's not over promising, which I think is a good skill when it comes to these beers. Anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers. You could pay £5, £6, £7 for this, and you would feel that your money is well spent. I'm not gonna lie, I've already reviewed this beer, but I had to take two, so I've got in my mind what I want to say with this. And the second can is drinking just as good, if not better, than the first can that I had. Mouthfeel is absolutely beautiful. It's bold, it's chunky, chewy, lovely bitter finish on the back end. Nice citrus bite, oniony, garlicky dankness coming through in that back end as well. Innocent smoothie, just all day long. That is, forget it's £3, that's a spectacular beer. That to me, and we'll see what it's like when we compare them, but right now, that to me is probably the best pale beer that Brewdog have done for a long time. And you get the Cloudwater flavour in there as well. There's something distinct about the use of hops on the flavour that I get from Cloudwater. This is reminding me of being in, Unit 9 in Manchester and drinking it straight from the tap. Or on keg, I should say. It's absolutely gorgeous. It really, really is. I know this was one of the beers that was like really hyped and really discussed when it came to the new beers in Tesco's. And I've got to say, the people who are singing the praise of this beer, it's so justified. And it's so good that you can actually get this in Brewdog bars as well, because they launched it in the bars and on the online shop just after it was released in the supermarkets. So, do you know what I mean? You're getting like taproom quality fresh can beer in a supermarket for a little bit cheaper. £3 for this is absolutely bonkers. It really, really is. The only reason you would not like this beer is because it's Cloudwater in the supermarkets. And I think that attitude has to stop because it's so toxic for the brewing industry. It's a brewing industry. Industries are there to make money. Businesses are there to make profit. And do you know what? For the breweries that have been taken over since I've been drinking this, I'm still drinking their beers. Magic Rock is still brewing beautiful beers. Beavertown, their core range is still fantastic. Let's see, even like the Camden Hells, one of the best UK lagers. Do you know what I mean? 4Pure. Some of the most intriguing IPAs and pale ales that you can get in the supermarkets, and their fruit-infused beers are second to none in my opinion. So I think that attitude is what will... that's the only negative you'll get with this beer. And as I said earlier, I could pay... I mean, I recently bought a couple of cans of Treehouse, and I can safely say, with hand on heart, which is somewhere around here, because I don't know if I've got one, this to me is a bit more satisfying than a double ganger that I had, which is gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but this is fantastic. This is up there with the Norths, with the Cloudwaters, the Verdants, the Dayers. Well, it is Cloudwater, and I think that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that this is in the supermarket. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely wonderful. And even taking that £3 price tag out of the equation, it's a 10 out of 10 from me. That is one of the most satisfying New England style IPAs I've had for a while. And yeah, it's bonkers that it's available in supermarkets. Granted, it took me about 3 or 4 Tesco's down the line to get hold of it, so definitely picked up 2. This is one of those beers where if you see 3, 4, 5, 6 cans on the shelf, get all 6, get all 5, get as many cans as you can of this for £3. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you might think that I'm talking out my arse with this or just going a bit over the top, but I think this is, quite frankly, just a beautiful New England style IPA. And both breweries should be very proud of that. And the great thing is, the general public who aren't familiar with bottle shops or online retailers, the general public who might be a little bit intimidated by going into that because of the reputation that the brewing industry, the drinkers within that have of being quite snobbish, because it is a very snobbish industry. It really is in terms of its consumer base. So the fact that someone could get their weekly shop and pick up a can of a beer like this, how is that a bad thing? Like, how is that a detriment to anyone at the end of the day? And if you want to say sensible drinkers will buy loads of cans of this, but they'll still go to the bottle shops, they'll still do the beer trades, they'll still import beers, they'll still go to bottle shares, they'll still funnel as much money as they possibly can directly to breweries and retailers. But it's always great to know that if you're a little bit strapped for cash, or you want something a little bit different that's not going to break the bank balance, I should say. Definitely the best supermarket beer that I've had, and I'm looking forward to trying this again, but it's not looking good if I've given this such a shining appraisal. But yeah, it's just beautiful. So if you agree with me, that's great. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm not gonna, kick you out of a forum for having an opinion like that. Definitely the best pale beer that Brewdog have brewed for a heck of a long time. And yeah, £3. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so if you tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. The hype has sort of fizzled out by now, I'd imagine. But then again, it takes ages to find beers like this, because I think this is going to be the sort of like lost cosmonauts of this wave of beers, because I never found that beer, and from what I heard, that was the best. So yeah, we've got Luminance from Magic Rock, we've got Pink Grapefruit Halcyon from Thornbridge. Just some of the most enjoyed beers that I've had these summer months have been from Tesco's, and it's beautiful. Anyway, so I'm going to stop this now, even though second review of this beer, I said I'd try and cut it short, but that's never going to happen. Safe to say, 10 out of 10, just does what I want with a New England style IPA. So if you've tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions. Are you a fan of the breweries involved in this? How do you think this compares to some of the other New England style IPAs that you could get from that same range in Tesco's? And yeah, so you've got a lot to live up to, my beautiful Hazy Jane. So let's see how that goes. And of course, it's the final battle between, well, it's a versus beer versus another beer, if that makes sense. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.